Hey guys, Keys here back with another Veracity video. So it's been a few weeks, but I'm back, and coincidentally, I'm back on a pretty good day for the markets. I mean, Bitcoin's at 70.3. It's back above 70K, which is pretty big in my opinion. I don't know if this is gonna last or if this is actually like go time again, like we're back. I don't know, but 70.3K is definitely no joke. And, with Bitcoin being, doing really well, like the altcoin markets are going to do well as well. And Veracity is definitely no exception. We're up almost 10.5% right now. We're sitting at 1.12 cents. And I still think that Veracity is going to do really well in the bull market. If this is still like, if we're still in the bull market, then, I think it's going to continue doing well. But if we're going to like stall out for a little bit for Bitcoin, like for like a month or something and just go sideways for a month or just not really go up or anything, then I think that Veracity is just going to stall as well because, Bitcoin leads the market. So it really depends on Bitcoin. But I do think that Bitcoin is going to go. I mean, my thesis for Bitcoin is that in this next bull market, whenever it is, like if it's now, if it's later this year, I do think it eventually will hit 100K. I think it might go a little bit higher than 100, but 100K is kind of like the level I'm looking for. And I think that Veracity is gonna, break its all-time high. I do think it's actually gonna go past 8 cents, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later in this video, because there's some things I've been thinking about in the past 2 weeks. But in the short-term analysis, it's really just up to Bitcoin. Like I can't really say much because if Bitcoin's gonna go up from here it's at 70.3 right now. Bitcoin's gonna go up, this week and like the next week. Like Veracity's going up, right? Like we're gonna go up. But if Bitcoin's just gonna stall and maybe even like slightly go down, then Veracity's going down, and so is every other coin. So, if we do go down, I'm looking at the 0.38 2 level. It's at 0.0087. And I'm also looking at, the top of the symmetrical triangle, which is slightly under it. So just kind of like this zone right here. If we come down, maybe draw it right here. If Bitcoin comes down, then maybe we come down here, which actually would make a lot of sense because I don't know if this is like an actual theory or whatever, or like analysis thing, but it's something I've noticed a lot. And it's basically like these huge long wicks. And you can see this one right here on this daily candle. Usually when I see a huge wick like this, regardless of which way it is, like the markets do tend to eventually like fill it or like close at the bottom of it. And you can see like there's actually a bunch of examples, like even right here over the past like recent history for Veracity, you can see like this huge wick was like really long, right? Like, and it took us a while, but we did eventually break it, right? Like we ended up going lower than where this wick went to. And then we did a similar move here where like we had a huge wick here and it took us a little bit of time, but we ended up closing just basically at it again, right? Like this daily close was slightly above it, but basically came down to it. And I don't just see this for Veracity, I see it a lot of times on charts. And so this wick right here, it doesn't always happen, but I think there is a chance that Veracity does come down and at least like retest it one more time or close a daily candle like around the bottom of this wick. And also coincidentally, that would just put us right in the zone that we were just talking about between 0.382 and the top of the symmetrical triangle. So I think there's a chance that Veracity actually does come down here. Let's just say 0.0085. And, it really just depends on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's going to go down, I think Veracity may go down there. But if this is like the reversal, like Bitcoin's back, like the markets are back and everything, then yeah, we're definitely going up. The first level is definitely the zero point 0.5 again, where we hovered for a bit. So, around 1.3 cents. But I'm pretty sure we would definitely surpass it. And, I would be targeting the 0.618 again that we actually didn't hit. I thought there was a good chance that, when we were consolidating here, we might get the push up, but ended up getting the drop down, which is fine. But yeah, I would be looking at the 0.618, which is at around 2.1 cents. So those are the two levels. It really just depends on what Bitcoin does. Like Bitcoin goes up, this is going up. Bitcoin goes down, we're going down. So yeah, that's all I can really say because the markets are just going to follow Bitcoin, especially in this time of the periods for the markets. And if we take a look at the Bitcoin pair, you can actually see that we came back down into it. And this is what I was saying when we got this wick on this wick on weekly candle, on this red weekly candle, like when we got this huge wick here, was that it did look kind of concerning that we came back down, but maybe we could bounce out. But I guess, time will always tell. And it seems that we did get the push back down. But the interesting thing about looking at it on the Bitcoin pair is that with that huge candle wick that I was talking about, like you can actually see like we kind of already, like we could still go a little bit lower, but I don't really think we would go that much lower on the Bitcoin pair. We actually came pretty close to the bottom of this wick, which is a massive wick. So maybe we could go a little bit lower, maybe even just come to retest this level one more time, if we're gonna get a little bit more of a dump, and then we can maybe try to break it again. But like I said, guys, the really, really big juicy move that we're looking for on Verasity, like the move that's gonna make us a lot of money, that's only gonna happen when on the Bitcoin pair we're sustainably going up and we're spiking, and we're just constantly going up. That's when we're gonna get a really, really big move. So looks like we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. That's fine. I mean, the thing about this is that I actually wasn't really expecting Veracity to even put this move in until after the POV marker tokens moved, and then after the halving as well. So the fact that we got it before is just definitely a good sign to me. And I think we're gonna get it after anyways. So it's still just to sit in your hands and do nothing, in my opinion. And I think that this year, I still think it's going to happen this year. I think that Veracity is going to go put in some all-time new highs. So speaking of the new all-time highs, I actually was just thinking about, I guess when Bitcoin, it doesn't even look bad when you look at it like this, but I mean on the daily, during this downward period, I was really starting to think about an exit strategy when we are at the top. Like I said, I think Bitcoin's going to go to 100K, but when we're at that level, what do you do? And how are we going to play Veracity? We're not going to hold this coin forever, right? We're still planning on selling it at a really good time. And I think that the first way we can know if it's a good time to sell is if Bitcoin's at 100K, right? When Bitcoin's at 100K, we're thinking about selling. I don't think we sell it right at the day that it hits 100K, because usually these coins move after Bitcoin makes its move. So maybe a week or a couple weeks after Bitcoin's at 100K, that's probably a good time to sell. But I was also thinking about the market cap and thinking about how big do you actually think Veracity can get to. And if you think Veracity, actually let's just talk about really quickly the history of gaming coins, because Veracity is considered a gaming coin. And if you guys were here in the last cycle in 2021, this is Axie Infinity. This was the leading gaming coin in the gaming space, and it went to a $9.6 billion market cap. And I think this was the biggest coin. I can't remember if there was another gaming coin that was bigger than Axie, but Axie went to 9.6. Another coin that I remember that was really big, 9.5. This one was Mana. It was Decentraland. This one went to $9.5 billion market cap. And then the Sandbox went to $6.7 billion market cap. So, you can say give or take 9 to 7 bill. And these were at least in the top 5 coins for gaming. And this is how big the market caps were for top coins in the gaming space. And the next cycle, which would be this one coming up, I would expect the top coin to be bigger than the previous one. So I think the top gaming coin will probably be over a $10 billion market cap. I don't think it's going to be Veracity, unfortunately. I don't think Veracity is going to be the top gaming coin, but I think we can take these coins and kind of gauge how big of a market cap we can honestly expect Veracity to go to. And let's say the top gaming coin does go to a $10 billion market cap. If Veracity is just at 1/10 of that, if it's just at 1 bill, that would actually put it at around 10 cents, because you can see right now we're currently sitting at $118 million market cap, and we're at about 1.1 cents. So just for like math purposes, like these numbers are gonna be slightly off, but I'm gonna round this down to 100 mil, and I'm gonna round this down to 1 cent. So if you're saying every 100 mil is around 1 cent for Veracity, then a $1 billion market cap would actually put Veracity at 10 cents. And you just saw like how big these other coins got in the last cycle, and if we're going to get an even bigger run this cycle, and the top coins are in like over 10 bill, you could definitely make the argument that Veracity could go to like a $2 to $5 billion market cap. And then you can just like do the math from there. Like a $2 billion market cap would be 20 cents, right? A $5 billion market cap would be 50 cents. And I don't really think that 50 cents is out of the question. I think it is, if you were just going to wait and hold and be like, I'm not selling until it hits 50 cents, that's, in my opinion, really risky, because like, I don't know if we're going to go to 50 cents, but I actually don't think that's a ridiculous price to go to, or market cap to get to. But in my opinion, I definitely think we will see a $1 billion market cap on Veracity. So I do think we're going to go to 10 cents minimum. And yeah, that's just what I think. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but yeah, so like talking about like exit strategies, like in my opinion, since I do think we're going to go to 10 cents, I'm probably not going to sell until at least 10 cents. Maybe I'll take a little bit off, like at like, five, maybe at this peak right here at 5 cents, the first peak we went to, just because, probably gonna get some sort of pullback there. Like I'm not gonna like try to trade it or anything, but I think 5 cents is probably a good level to take it at, and I also do think 10 cents is a good level. But if you actually look at the charts, it's saying that we can actually go to like 80 cents, or like maybe even higher than 80. And if you think about it in terms of market cap, that'd be like an $8 billion market cap. Is that going to happen? I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know if an $8 billion market cap for Veracity will happen. But I will say, I think the marketing team is excellent for Veracity. Honestly, like Veracity is always, like, not always, but like I see it trending on Twitter a lot. I see like the stats for like all these like smaller coins. Veracity actually usually tops these charts on like in terms of social media, in terms of like people mentioning it and talking about it and stuff like that. So I think the marketing team is actually really good. I know they join like some private groups and stuff as well to network and stuff. So I do think the marketing team's great, and I think that if we get a huge wave of like newbies and like the next generation of crypto traders and whatever, if they're gonna come into this cycle, I think that we could see a multi-billion-dollar market cap for Veracity. I just don't know if it'll go to 8 billion, because if you think about it, like that would be putting it 8 billion. Like that means Veracity is probably like a top 10 gaming coin, or like top 20 or something, top 15 maybe. Maybe even like top 5. Like I don't know how big the top gaming coin is going to be this market cap, but 8 billion is not out of the question. I mean, like I said, we saw like these coins went to 9 billion. So it is possible. I don't know if I would like completely hold all the way to 80 cents. In my opinion, that's a bit risky, but you could see it going. And it's also like in the charts too, right? Like the charts are actually saying that if we do hit the top, like we play this pattern again and we get like a double hit up here, like that's hitting like 60 to 90 cents, like if we do it like later this year, right? Like in the summer. If we did it at the end of the year, it's like $1. It'd be like a $10 billion market cap. And yeah, I just don't know if we're gonna get there. So it's up to you, like what you think Veracity's gonna do. Like those are the levels you can just kind of like I said, it's not the exact numbers, but you can kind of just round down just to make it a little bit easier for you to do. Like just say every 100 billion is about 1 cent. So it's just how big you think that Veracity is going to get to. And yeah, I think that it is important to have an exit strategy, especially after this like little mini crash that we had. And yeah, I still think Veracity is going to do really well. I don't think that I think it just might take a little bit more time. I mean, when you look at it like this, like let me delete a couple things. Like honestly, when you look at Veracity's chart right now, like it looks pretty good. I mean, I know like we're still like kind of at the bottom, towards the bottom of this channel, but it looks like we're starting to move back up to the like at least the midpoint, right? Like if I turn on the midpoint of this channel, let's see where it's at actually. The middle point of this channel right now, if we went to it this week, is at 5 cents. So you can see we're not even close to the midpoint. Like we still need another 5x basically to get to it. But when I look at this chart, it actually just looks really good. And then you have to factor in like I said, the marketing team, the POV markers are moving out, the halving is actually coming up, probably gonna hit a massive bull market at some point this year. It kind of like starts to align that Veracity is gonna do really well. So yeah, guys, kind of a long video today, I guess, because I wasn't here for the past 2 weeks, but I'm gonna be trying to make at least 2 Veracity videos a week to keep you guys a little bit more updated, and definitely gonna keep up talking about Bitcoin because, like I said, like whatever Bitcoin does, the market's gonna do at this point. So we have to make sure we're paying attention to Bitcoin because it's gonna tell us what Veracity is gonna do. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.